Computer problems grounded all United Continental flights, about 35 of them nationwide. How was Lake Charles Regional impacted? And the latest on that continued search for a DeRidder man in the Sabine River. 7 News at Noon starts now.
Now, in high definition, sponsored by Nissan of Lake Charles. This is 7 News at Noon.
Good afternoon. I'm John Bridges. Agnes is off today. Lake Charles Regional Airport was not impacted by the grounding of all United Continental flights in the U.S. this morning. KPLC spoke with a member of airport administration who said the first scheduled flight into Lake Charles this morning was out of Houston, and it had already left the gate there by the time the situation was resolved. Earlier, flights were temporarily grounded because of computer problems. Less than 2 hours later, United asked the Federal Aviation Administration to lift the ground stop order. United cited network connectivity as the source of the problems. It is the second time in 2 months the carrier has been hit by major technical issues. Meanwhile, a technical glitch also responsible for the trading being halted on New York Stock Exchange this morning. Traders were standing around the floor as action unexpectedly stopped. The halt started shortly after 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 our time. The glitch meant all open orders were canceled. The exchange says it's working to resolve their issue as soon as possible. Here at home, the search for a missing DeRidder man enters its 4th day. The Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office, with the help of Texas-based EquiSearch, continues scouring the Sabine River in the area of Niblets Bluff Park, looking for 28-year-old Shannon Godfrey. Godfrey disappeared in the river after going in to retrieve a ball while playing a game with family this past weekend. 2 Southwest Louisiana men with multiple drunk driving arrests are arrested for impaired driving again. Caitlin Caswell of Sulphur was stopped on L'Auberge Avenue for a traffic violation. When the deputy approached the vehicle, Caswell had slurred speech, an unsteady balance, and performed poorly on a field sobriety test. Caswell, who has 2 prior DWI arrests, was arrested again and booked into the Calcasieu Correctional Center. Calcasieu Sheriff's deputies also arrest this man, Christopher Lamel, on Old Spanish Trail for a traffic violation. The Sheriff's Office says Lamel showed signs of impairment and performed poorly on a sobriety test. A breathalyzer test revealed he was over the legal limit. Lamel has 3 prior DWI arrests and was booked into the Calcasieu Correctional Center. Here's a look at the sketch of a man authorities say shot at a state trooper during a traffic stop in Rapides Parish last month. Louisiana State Police say the man was a passenger in a mid-1980s Chevrolet Caprice. During that stop, investigators say the driver and a trooper got into a fight outside the car. As the driver was walking back, State Police say the passenger shot at the trooper. Anyone with information is asked to call State Police. Looking at live video this morning as police are questioning 2 people of interest after an officer was shot in Illinois. This is from Mounds, Illinois this afternoon. A live look at the crime scene area. Police looking for a suspect considered armed and dangerous. The police chief there says that an officer was shot this morning on the south side of town. It happened about 7. The officer was transported to the hospital around 8. No word on his condition. Residents of the area are being urged to stay in their homes. Think freedom of speech protects you from potential consequences of things you post online? Think again. The First Amendment protects against what's called state actions, meaning the government, whether it's federal, local, or state, cannot prosecute you for speaking out about certain things. It does not mean you have job security. If your boss sees something malicious or controversial, you post.
There's a full range of freedom of expression. So it not only means me getting up on a soapbox and giving a speech, or for that matter, somebody standing in the middle of the McNeese Quad telling McNeese students and faculty that they're going to hell and attacking Catholics, but it also entails symbolic speech.
KPLC's Eric Tiger continues his report tonight on 7 News Nightcast. That's at 10. Now let's check in with Ben to see how the weather's doing this afternoon. Nice and hot.
It is. In fact, we're already up to 90 degrees this noon hour. That's the official temperature at the Lake Charles Regional Airport. You can see all across the region. We're just baking across the southeast. 93 this hour. Tallahassee, Florida. 90 at Montgomery. We're actually warmer than Brownsville, Texas this hour. That just goes to show you the difference there. 87 on the Skycam. A south wind at 20. So we do have a nice breeze. That's going to cut the heat just a bit because that's all we've got. We've got no rain on radar this afternoon. We've had a couple of showers earlier this morning move through Acadiana. That's about all we've seen so far. 91 right now in Sulphur, 90 Oakdale, 88 in Cameron. Let's take a look at what that feels like with the heat index. 97 right now is the heat index in Lake Charles, 102 in Oakdale. Like we said, other than that breeze we've got this afternoon, the chance of rain, well, it's looking pretty slim. In fact, visible satellite really aren't even showing any of the clouds building that we would need for those afternoon showers and thunderstorms. So with minimal rain chances today, you definitely need to take those heat precautions, but it does look like a slightly better chance of those afternoon storms moving in later in the week. We'll be detailing that coming up in the full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Ben, aspiring actors are gathering at this hour in Lake Charles as they put their hopes before the camera. It's called Acting for the Camera for children ages 8 through 18. Just started a few minutes ago, and this is a live look at the workshop, which covers auditioning for commercials, reading commercial scripts, exploring different commercial techniques, and beginning improvisational skills. This video coming to us from Central School Arts and Humanities Center. Information and samples are shared on completing resumes, headshots, and finding the best agent or manager. It's being held today through Friday from 12 noon until 1:30 p.m. You don't need any experience. All the workshops have limited enrollment. And again, this is at Central School Arts and Humanities Center on Kirby Street. For more information, you can call 433-7323 or go to childrenstheater.cc and click on Summer Workshops. You might just be seeing these faces on some commercials one day. Still ahead on 7 News at noon, a several-year search for an elderly woman comes to an end, and what helped investigators identify her might surprise you. And we're kicking off our new legal segment here on KPLC 7 News at noon, where we answer your legal questions. I'll be joined by this man, Mark Judson from the Southwest Louisiana Law Center. He's coming up.
There haven't been a lot of laughs this summer, but that's about to change.
I brought home a girl back to the apartment, and my roommate was like, "You can do better." And I was like, "Yeah, I could do better, but better ain't trying to do me."
America's hottest new comics in TV's original comedy competition.
I thought you finished strong.
Phenomenal.
I'm going to be happy if you would be my friend.
100 comics will try, but only one will remain standing. The new season of Last Comic Standing starts July 22nd on NBC.
I was sitting in traffic. It was a Friday afternoon. I slowed down to stop at a red light, but the person behind me did not.
When I had to take him to the hospital, that's when I knew it was serious. That's when I called Morse Bart.
Michael and Suzanne had a lot of questions after their accident, so they made that one call. If you've been injured, we can help and fight to get you the money you deserve.
We called Morse Bart, and the result was $120,000.
Call 477-4600.
Well, I take all types of college courses to get the training you need for industry jobs. At ABC, our training is craft specific. You only take classes dealing with that craft. With classes just 2 nights a week, you can get job experience in the industry and come back at night to complete your training. The next training session is enrolling now, so this is perfect timing. Get the training you need for the higher paying jobs that you want. Build your future now with training at ABC.
It's 12:09 and we're back now, welcoming you to a new segment called You in the Law, where we take your legal questions. Our guest, Mark Judson, is Executive Director of the Southwest Louisiana Law Center, and he's here to answer those questions for you. And Mark, thanks for coming in.
Hey,
Good
John,
to see you again.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
This first question comes to us from Lake Charles. Our former landlord is keeping our security deposit, even though we have proof that we didn't damage the place. What are our options?
Well, you know, that's a common problem. We see it a lot. So generally speaking, the landlord has to refund the security deposit unless there's a good reason for keeping the security deposit, such as the tenant may have breached the agreement, or there may be some sort of damage or some sort of unusual cleanup beyond normal wear and tear. But if the landlord's going to keep it, the landlord has to provide an accounting of why they are keeping the deposit. If the landlord fails to provide the landlord has 1 month to return it, by the way.
Okay.
If the landlord fails to provide an accounting of what they've done with it, then the tenant may seek the deposit back, attorney's fees, actual damages, or $200, whichever is greater. And of course, therein lies the rub, because the cost of seeking it may be equal to or about the same as the money. So, but 1 month to refund, and the landlord must give a written accounting.
In writing.
In
okay.
writing.
They can't just tell you and walk off.
No,
okay.
no, that's right.
All right, our second question comes from a viewer who says, can I sue a neighbor who cut branches from my tree that were overhanging on his property? Say my tree is overhanging on his property and he cut my branches.
The aggrieved tree owner question is what we call it. Comes up all the time. You'd be surprised. People are very particular about their trees. As all good answers to legal questions should always start with this, perhaps. The answer is perhaps. Louisiana Civil Code Article 688 gives a landowner a right to demand that a tree owner's branches be trimmed or cut back by the tree owner. So the real question is, does the aggrieved landowner have the unilateral right to trim back his neighbor's tree limbs?
Okay.
And the answer is no, not automatically. You always have to ask the tree owner's permission first. You should get it first. Now, of course, the question is, can the tree owner sue? Well, just because a landowner may have illegally cut some branches back, the real question is, what damage did the tree owner suffer?
Okay.
Is this a special tree? Is this the Evangeline oak? Is this a special, like, Joyce Kilmer fan? I think that I may never see. A sight as lovely as a tree. You know, only God can make a tree.
Then you get into the utility right-of-ways and how the utilities have to trim their trees as well.
A lot of cases come up with the power lines and the utilities and so forth. But the short answer is the neighbor does not have the unilateral right to ask.
Okay.
Always be a good neighbor. Always talk to your neighbor before you do anything that may impact a neighbor.
It's a good idea anyway.
Always a good idea. Always a good idea.
All right, Mark Judson, thanks for joining us. We're going to be airing this segment every Wednesday at noon, and we'd love for you to participate. Email your questions to eTiger, Tiger with a Y. Why? Because he spells it that way. eTiger with a Y at kplctv.com, and civil matters only. Okay? All right, then I'm going to probably try to mow the yard this afternoon. I'm going to be looking out for those limbs.
I got to kill some weeds on my property.
Yeah.
On my property.
Okay, on your property, right.
Yeah. All right, looking outside, we've got the heat. After the break, we've got a chance of rain later this week. We'll be detailing that next.
Did you know that almost every injury case that Cox, Philo, Camel, and Wilson handles for its clients is covered by insurance? When you've been hurt in an accident, the last thing you want to do is fight with the insurance company. Did you know that's what we do for our clients every day? Let us fight the insurance company for you. Call us for a free consultation or visit us at coxphilo.com. It won't cost you anything to see if we can help.
Right now at Market Basket, buy Swift pork steaks $1.39 a pound. Hunt's ketchup, big 35 ounce, just 99 cents. Now that's a lower price.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. I tried so hard. I can't find above it. I don't know what it is about that little gal's loving, but I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Win up to $2,500 cash in the $400,000 birthday surprise every Friday and Saturday in July. Only at the Isle of Capri Casino Hotel, Lake Charles.
If you've been through the bandages and creams and your wound still hasn't healed, ask your doctor about the advanced wound healing techniques, including hyperbaric oxygen therapy, now available at the Wound Care Center at the Lake Area Medical Center. Now there is something more you can do. We can help you get back to living instead of living with a chronic wound. Call the Wound Care Center today at 337-475-4001.
On the next Flip My Food, Chef Jeff hikes into flavor country with the Boy Scouts.
Oh, man, that's what I'm talking about.
And flips some delicious dishes worthy of a campfire.
Cook those dogs on there.
Flip My Food.
Today at 1:30 on KPLC.
Make SWLA Connected part of your hurricane safety plan.
All right, on the radar this afternoon, we thought we would be looking at least a couple of cooling showers. And there's still a chance a couple could pop up, but I think our window of time is going to be closing because, well, we don't even have the start of that, which are the clouds you need for storms to build. Visible satellite pretty much shows this little window here, which pretty much encompasses southwest Louisiana, cloud-free this hour. Some cumulus clouds building out over Acadiana, and that's where we might have a little bit of a better chance of eventually seeing some development of some afternoon storms. So with that in mind, the heat is the story. In fact, we talked about the heat precautions you need to take this afternoon, and with these 90-degree readings already at the noon hour, it is going to be a hot afternoon. Dew points still into the 70s, so those 97-degree readings, we're going to be pretty much holding. May go up another degree or two through the afternoon, but we're not definitely going to be going down anytime soon with these values heading through the afternoon. So with a lot of sun out, so the only real break we'll get is from this sea breeze moving onshore. South winds at 12 miles an hour. That sort of knocked off a little bit of the effects of the heat yesterday. I think we'll continue to see those winds 5 to 15 miles per hour out of the south through the rest of the day. So just watch out for that heat. Isolated storm chance mainly through Acadiana. Best chances there, about 20% coverage today. It still looks like as we go into tomorrow and Friday, a little better chance of seeing some of that moisture return in the form of some afternoon storms. We'll start to include that rain chance a little bit more so on tomorrow. And then for Friday, we'll have a little bit enough of a weakness in the upper levels that we'll see better rain chances returning. More flooding going on out over Texas from earlier this morning as rain extends from Dallas up through eastern Oklahoma. And that front basically stalled out that area here as high pressure blocks any type of major weather systems from really pushing here across our area. So the heat is on, the sizzling south, that's what we're calling it. Forecasting temperatures in well into the 90s, close to the triple digits in areas into Alabama and even into Florida. All right, as we take a look at the Gulf, things are quiet. Tropically speaking, we're pretty much not going to be dealing with any type of tropical development over the next several days. A couple of reasons. We've got a lot of wind shear here, which would really help to prevent any type of development if it tried, but we've got that dry Saharan air that's been, for the most part, throughout the entire season, helping to keep storms suppressed, and it gives that hazy look to our skies here in southwest Louisiana. We'll likely see that continue on through the weekend. 77 for tonight, very warm and humid, light winds out of the south. Tomorrow, a few storms possible. We're talking widely scattered in nature, no more than about a 30% chance as we go into tomorrow. It still looks like Friday will be our best day for seeing those afternoon storms, and into the weekend, that ridge builds again, drying us back out and keeping the heat pumped up through early next week. We're talking some mid-90s possible by Sunday or Monday.
I've been wondering when we're going to approach that. Of course, it feels like temperature's close enough.
Yeah, and with those south winds that kick up in the afternoon, that does take a little bit of edge off the heat.
Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. Okay. All right. It's for nearly 4 years, authorities in North Dakota have been searching for an elderly woman who vanished in 2011. Last week, her remains were found hundreds of miles away in Idaho. Officials say the 82-year-old appears to have died in an auto accident. The discovery might never have occurred if not for the serial number on the woman's prosthetic knee. Neil Carlson reports.
Florence Dumonte was driving alone when she left her rural Ardagh home in October of 2011 to visit relatives in Washington State. She was last seen on surveillance cameras getting gas in Butte, Montana. Last week, 200 miles down Interstate 90 at Lookout Pass, Idaho, a hiker found a limb with a prosthetic knee attached that matched Dumonte's serial number. Then, authorities using a helicopter found her pickup nearby at the bottom of a massive ravine. The sheriff says that stretch of road is often icy in October.
According to a daughter of Florence, she said
her mother was notorious for not wearing her seatbelt. So I would say if that's the case, then she was probably ejected out of the vehicle.
Authorities say they also found a skull near the wreck that rules out foul play.
Foul play by the skull. They looked at the skull and determined that what was there should be there as far as any marks or trauma, and from a vehicle, I guess, tumbling that distance.
So nearly 4 years after it started, the long-running case of what happened to Florence DeMonte appears to be over.
Even though the matching serial number on the prosthesis matches the one owned by DeMonte, authorities must still make official rulings on her death. However, officials say the case appears to have been solved. Well, up next, a new app is making shopping for the blind a routine activity. That story coming up.
The 7-Storm Team Weather Watcher Network is sponsored by Mark Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Thank you, Southwest Louisiana, for making Cadillac the #1 selling luxury brand in our area 3 years in a row for low prices and local luxury service. Shop Billy Navarre Cadillac.
I got a lot of love, people. Burger love, chicken love, shrimp love, fry love. My heart is pounding with flavor. I'm having palpitations, man. Oh, maybe that's the wind.
Craving big-time flavor for an unbelievable price? Get our famous Big Buford with 2 100% beef patties and fresh ingredients for a flavor so crazy bold, you'll want 2. Add our Big Chicken Deluxe to double the flavor. 2 of the same or 1 of each, just $5.
Fist bump.
Checkers and rallies.
It's in the bag.
Have you shopped for internet service lately?
Like we have a choice for internet service?
You do with Exceed.
What's Exceed?
Exceed is a better, faster internet service you can get just about anywhere.
Even here?
Yep. In fact, if you can see us, you can get Exceed, with speeds up to twice as fast as typical DSL or 4G mobile.
For real?
Now get Exceed internet for 0 money down with a 3-year price lock guarantee.
Okay, we get these offers a lot, but when I call, they say we can only get snail speed in our area.
Well, Exceed brings you super fast speed today, so you don't have to wait for that old snail.
Oh, honey, it's not a real snail.
Did I mention that Exceed will also lock in your price for 3 years?
Oh, I'm going to miss calling every year to argue about the price.
Really?
No.
Call today and get free standard installation on Exceed Internet with plans starting at $49.99 a month. Save even more when you bundle with home phone. Exceed, a better choice for Internet.
The 7-Storm Team Skycam Network is sponsored by Billy Navarre. With quick service and low prices, we challenge any dealer in America to beat. The 7 News Stock Market Report is sponsored by Sam A. Bear Financial Group. Perhaps we should talk.
Sometimes just getting to work or taking the time to shop can be tough. If you happen to be visually impaired, the task can be almost impossible. But thanks to smartphones and apps like Be My Eyes, things are looking up. Here's Keith Hunt.
Imagine facing this and trying to find that can of soup you wanted. Now imagine being totally blind and finding exactly what you want.
Can you tell me what this is? Because I wanted to cook this tonight.
It's pasta and fettuccine.
Oh, fettuccine Alfredo?
Yes.
What's happening is that someone out there on the internet has taken the time to be Maria's eyes. By using her phone and sharing the image, a sighted helper selects Maria's earrings, the correct color of socks, and dinner for her. To date, there are over 230,000 sighted people helping 19,000 blind with this app alone.
Most people who are visually impaired are getting really excited because they're discovering that it's really not that difficult to browse the web and communicate via email and work with calendars and work with word processors anymore, thanks to this great new assistive technology that's out there.
There are a number of apps for the visually impaired now. One reads your money. Is this a 5 or a 20? Another gives walking directions.
Herkimer Road, Utica, New York. I even text message with my kids, and I said I would never do that.
And this new technology isn't just for the blind. That person that just helped out Maria.
But just to know that you're helping somebody be independent, it's really got to give you a rush.
And you can find out for yourself.
We just need more people to volunteer as sighted guides. Then it can be an incredible, incredible app.
Bye, Jeff.
Great way to volunteer there and help someone out. Well, Ben's back with a last check of our afternoon forecast for your Wednesday after the break.
We were at the stop sign, me and my wife, and bam, we just got hit in the back.
Ernest was injured and didn't know where to turn, so he made that one call. If you've been injured in an accident, we can help you, just like Ernest.
Larry's Old Time Trade Days takes place this weekend at their amazing marketplace located in Winnie. You'll find everything from rare antiques to delicious food while checking out the countless magnificent vendors. Larry's Old Time Trade Days, where you can find it here.
I am the original safety feature. The fraction of a second between fender and bender. I am with you at work and take you to play. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama. All proceeds from the Yokohama Tire LPGA Classic benefit Kaboom, the national nonprofit dedicated to ensuring all kids get the active play they need to thrive.
Important healthcare notice. If you play the TV too loudly, or if listening in some situations has become difficult, you are needed to participate in a special program called the 10-Day Challenge. We're seeking 100 people with problems hearing to evaluate Invisibel, a new 100% digital invisible hearing instrument now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil. We are seeking 100 people with hearing problems to take part in the 10-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech hearing device the size of a pencil eraser. Call the number on your screen. Invisibel is the world's first 100% digital, completely invisible hearing aid. Hearing consultations will be performed at no charge for all qualified callers. Participants will try Invisibel hearing aids for 10 days. Call now and take the 10-Day Challenge.
All right, last check of our forecast as we push into the afternoon. Of course, the heat's on. Can't stress enough to take those heat precautions and maybe stay out of the direct sun if you can through the afternoon. Those heat index values 100 to 105 here for the next few hours. Rain chances minimal as we head toward tomorrow. Really into Friday, we'll have our best rain chances. Zipping on ahead and quick look at the weekend forecast. Saturday begins that drier trend returning. We might have a few widely scattered afternoon storms on Saturday. Rain chances at no more than 30% though. Then drier for Sunday into early next week. But it's going to be a hot week ahead.
Yeah, it looks like it. All right, I'll see you back.